Hey lovelies, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Ari Nicole, also aka Ari Sweets, and today we are going to be decorating a buttercream cake. And as we decorate, I want to talk about when things don't go as planned and how we can adapt to those changes. So in this actual video, this cake was supposed to be a completely different cake. I was making a graduation cake for one of my cousins. He is actually getting his PhD, and we are super proud of him, of course. However, plans did change, so we decided to postpone the party. And I decided that I still wanted to decorate a cake because not only did I already bake the cake, I actually started to make some of the graduation topping decorations, and I'm actually excited that he canceled or postponed because my decorations were not coming out as planned. So I want to talk about how I decided to pivot, and I also made a beautiful cake even though it was not the cake that I planned to make. So if you are not subscribed to your girl, please hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you a thing. Hype the video. That also doesn't cost you a thing. Comment down below any of your thoughts and let's have a real life chat. So the one thing that I really love about cake decorating is that when things don't go as planned, most likely you can pivot, you can change it up, you can fix it, you can correct it. Now, sometimes if you are too far gone in the process, it may be a little bit more difficult to pivot. But since this was supposed to be a graduation cake and basically everything that was going to represent grad or graduation was going to be made out of fondant, and that was just going to be added to the cake, it was really easy for me to pivot and make this cake a floral design and something that essentially I was just going to take to my grandmother's house because I didn't want to waste a cake. Who wants to waste cake, okay? Things that went wrong were I was originally supposed to make this cake taller. So I wanted to make a book style cake, and I'm going to show you guys a picture so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, it was supposed to be taller. But I thought that I could get away with it being a shorter cake, and no, you can't. It didn't work out at all, right? And then my cap that I actually made out of fondant, it turned out super cute. So that was something that was successful. But then I made fondant letters, and I actually made them, and they started to kind of break apart. And I was like, you know what? I'm actually happy that he postponed because this was going to be a disaster. So I said, let me come up with another design that I haven't done in a while, which was let's do some classic roses because I actually love making roses, you guys. So in the ways that I've learned how to adapt when things don't go my way, especially with cake decorating, is just to, first of all, take a deep breath. I mean, a deep breath. Pause for a second. Let's think of a solution. Now, surprisingly, when it comes to cake decorating, I am very resilient, so I cannot stop. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care how many hours I put into a cake. I will keep going until that cake looks the way that I want it to look, all right? Of course, we want it to satisfy the customer as well, but I want to make sure that I'm giving my best representation when I am handing over these cakes. So one thing about me, I don't care how long it takes. We're going to make this cake look right, and I want to be satisfied when I am done with it. So again, I am just adding these buttercream roses to the cake, and this tip actually was, I believe, a 105 if I'm not mistaken, and I usually use a 104 when I make my roses. So the roses that I made in yellow, I used a 104 tip, but because I didn't have two of those types of tips, I am now using a 105, and it's just slightly smaller. The hole for the tip is slightly just thinner, and I was like, this is a little bit interesting. I haven't used this tip before, so it was giving me a little bit of a difficulty, but I actually liked how the cake was coming out with the bigger roses and then like the smaller bud roses. So now I'm actually changing the design as I'm going along. I said, you know what? At first I was just going to put a couple roses at the top, but now I kind of want to make a circle of roses, going around the entire cake. And the beautiful thing about my house is it was extremely cold. So these roses were not really set on top of the cake. So it was easy for me to maneuver and pull them, apart or, around the top of the cake just to make it in that circle that I was actually going for when I decided to go for it. So again, lovelies, things will happen when you are decorating cakes. And I know it's very easy to get frustrated and you might just want to throw in the towel, but don't. You can maneuver. It's ways to fix any problem. And even that yellow that you see at the top of the cake by my one of my roses, I just took a paper towel and I just wiped it off so that it would become that white surface again, so you wouldn't really notice any mistakes. And now I'm just adding in my green leaves, and let me tell you something about leaves. They can cover any imperfection. I actually have a problem with how many leaves that I add on a cake because I will just keep going and going and going and going. And honey child, the whole cake will be covered with leaves. But it is so beautiful when you finish because I just think that it just adds a different layer to the cake. I don't know, the leaves make the roses pop every single time. And also, again, if you have made it to this point of the video, I hope you have hit that subscribe button at this point because I have so many more videos that I want to share with you guys. And I want you to be entertained, inspired, motivated, and feeling like you can accomplish or do whatever you put your mind to when you are watching my cake decorating videos. And no, I am not perfect at cake decorating at all. You will see my imperfections, but every single day that I make a cake and post these videos, it truly inspires me and motivates me to keep going because I will get better, and that is a fact. Lovelies, we are almost done with this gorgeous cake, and I just wanted to add one more thing on the side. Sometimes I do have, trouble with just not adding stuff. You see how that just happened just now? You see that? And it just blew me, but I had to keep going, okay? You have to just keep going. I like to fix all my mistakes at the end, so I'm just going to keep going around and around and around on this cake until I get back to that part, and I'll just fix it real quick. It's not a big deal. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that this helped you in some way, maybe made you encouraged or inspired you. Please check out the other videos on my channel. And I love you all. I hope you have a wonderful week and have a great day, guys. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.